game hunting.
Hi there everybody, Jamie Edwards here, Hunting with Dad. So I've been working with this GAIM VR shooting system, and I've really been struggling in my head a little bit. I've been missing a lot of birds, been missing a lot of clay pigeons on the range, and as much time as I have set up working on getting my gun set up in the game, I felt that I had my sight picture pretty much the same as what I would shoot my own gun at. As I've mentioned before, I am a Beretta guy, so having a Beretta over and under in the game is great. My dad is also a Beretta guy, so today it's not going to be a very big video here because I don't know which direction I want to go yet. But I'll turn the camera around. Right here, I have the GAIM laminated gun. Okay, they make a rifle which is more solid wood, it's not laminated, and then they make an adjustable one. And from what I can tell, I can't find any specs on anything, but the only difference between all three of their guns is this. They make a solid wood version instead of a laminated one. So those are the two normal, quote unquote, guns. And the third one is adjustable, like a high dollar trap gun. And it looks like they just went right here off the Monte Carlo drop and cut it straight back. And then you can adjust the comb up or down. And they also come in here, probably 3/4 of an inch, maybe is what it looks like on the picture, and cut the end off and made it adjustable there too. I don't know if this part adjusts up and down or just in and out. And the comb, it looks like it just adjusts up and down. I don't think it adjusts sideways. But here's the deal. So as I mentioned, my dad and I are both Beretta guys. This is my dad's gun. This is a 686 Onyx. I don't know if you can see that in there. My over and under is a 687 Silver Pigeon 3. Okay, so I'm gonna try to hold these on here. I don't want to scratch anything up, but there are some very, very concerning differences here. So I'm gonna line up the triggers. Triggers are a little different shape, but we'll adjust the pointing or the contact part of the triggers pretty much lined up, and we will pivot this to make the forearm line up so that it's straight down here. So the first thing that I noticed is, okay, it's gonna stay there. Right here's the end of the forearm on the Berettas. So I noticed that right off the bat. It's like 2.5 inches longer in the forearm, okay, with everything lined up. Okay, I'm not so much concerned about the barrel because you're making that work, and the trigger, and your grip here looks pretty good. But here's the huge difference on the stocks. Okay, this is the bottom of the stock. That doesn't concern me so much. You know, you're not really working with the bottom of the stock. You can see it's longer. The length of pull here is longer by, I should get a tape measure, but from stock to stock is a good 1/2 inch for sure. I want to just make sure everything's lined up here again. Good 1/2 inch longer there. It is 1.5 inches lower, I guess, for lack of words here. But here's my big concern. This is huge. This is huge. The comb on the GAIM gun sticks up at least an inch and a half higher. Look at this, inch and a half. All this distance. That's moving your face. So if you're used to this gun, and you've got your cheek mounted here, and you're now putting your cheek an inch and a half higher. Oh, things are changing. Things are changing. I don't know. I'm alone here today, but I don't know if I can stack all three guns on top of each other. But let's see what I can do here. So the 686 and the 687 are identical. Okay, they are identical. Again, here's the forearm looking. This might give you a little better picture of. Sorry, things are kind of. Had to drop the camera. Things are adjusting here. So again, top, bottom. Let's get a picture from the end here. Look at the differences here. So the Berettas line up identical, but the GAIM gun is very, 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 very different. So before you put too much work into practicing a lot with the GAIM gun, and GAIM, forgive me if I'm saying something that you don't like, but if you're listening out there, when you buy this setup, you need to put it onto your gun, and you need to see what is different, because this GAIM gun is not going to fit you the same as your shotgun. I shouldn't say that. This GAIM gun may not fit you like your shotgun. I don't know what model this is, molded after. Obviously, it's a nice looking gun, and they've done a nice job modeling this. But the drop and the cast and the camber and the whole works, and the length of pull, those are all major things for a shotgun. So now you're training on this shotgun. Even though you have, I would like to hear GAIM's, response to this, really. If your neck isn't in the same position here, and it's not shouldering in the same position, and your length of pull isn't the same, and the forearm, granted, it's too long for me, but if I stretch out to the end where I normally put my finger, that's changing things, so I have to move my hand back, which is fine. That's an easy fix. I can put some tape on there, or a piece of rope or ribbon or something, so I know where that stop is. But the comb and everything, length of pull, if you get used to shooting this GAIM gun and then you go shoot your real shotgun, I'm afraid that things aren't going to work out well. I don't know if your brain is going to automatically switch over and say, hey, I'm shooting a real shotgun, so I need to shoot it this way now, or if it's going to say, this is the way I've been training, so this is how I need to shoot, and then you're not going to be able to hit things. So I don't know. I would like to have another stock to cut apart and experiment with. What I would really like to see more than anything, and I talked to I think his name was Philip at Pheasant Fest where I bought this system, was how about a system that we can mount right onto our shotgun, our real shotgun. Forget having this. And here's where the problem is, what he told me. He's like, mounting this is probably going to be pretty easy. You can make some nice little plug and put it right in the end of the barrel that'll hold it or whatever. But the Bluetooth trigger, there's no resetting. You don't want to be dry firing your real gun. Of course, they have a setup with the, well, they don't. They pull out the whole trigger mechanism on your handguns. What GAIM, maybe if you're listening, maybe what you could do, rather than making a trigger, let's make a Bluetooth transmitter just like this trigger, but with a push button. And you could mount the push button on the side, you know, like with a piece of tape or a piece of Velcro on your real gun. So when you want to pull the trigger, you would do this new maneuver on your real gun instead of actually pulling a trigger. I know that's, you want it as real as possible, and this trigger is pretty real, but if the rest of the gun doesn't fit you, it's defeating the whole purpose of the game here. So there's got to be something to come up with to make this work. I don't know. I'm gonna stop shooting with it right now until I can either make this game stock work, you know, identical to my Beretta, which means cutting it off, moving this down, screwing it in, putting wood together. I don't know, it's gonna look real ugly, and then I'm gonna have to start completely over on setting it up in the game itself. The other part of this is I need to go get a rifle and do the same thing. My normal, I have a 308 Winchester, and I also have a Weatherby 338 Lapua. Those are my two main rifle guns. I don't know how they're going to match up. Maybe they would be a better match. Maybe this is modeled more off of a rifle, and we need a shotgun stock. And as long as you're partnered with Beretta, I'm talking the game now, as long as you're partnered with Beretta, obviously, because you have an over and under 686 right in the game, maybe you could get Beretta to give you a full length stock like this to sell as the shotgun part. I know on your website you list all of these as rifles. So here's what I'm asking. Was this software designed over a rifle and around a rifle, and shotgun shooting was a secondary that you're like, oh, we can make this work in the game, and you didn't change anything else? Or, you know, we have a lot of shotguns. I might have to try to find out. Maybe this is modeled after a Browning something or other, or maybe a Winchester or a Benelli. I don't know, but it is definitely not a 686 or a 687 Beretta. So anyways, that's my take. You guys can decide what you want to do. As for me right now, I am going to stop training with this until I can figure something else out. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in. Please hit like and subscribe. I'd appreciate it. Have a good day.
Let's go in hunting.